Now you're at
See an
10
accident?
seconds.
Let us know at the Curtis & Associates traffic tip line at 821-1111. Curtis & Associates, trust and experience of attorneys who care.
The dark will be afraid of me. Darkness has fallen over our country. A darkness has fallen over our country, but it is time to no longer be afraid of the dark. We can no longer ignore the evil walking beside us. We must embrace the light of good and know that it will take all of us to turn darkness back into a blinding light that shines so bright on this country. It is, though, only achieved with the good from each of us. We can and will hold off evil. We'll keep it at bay. But our time is now. The hour is late. And we may never see the light again if darkness is allowed to endure. Today we put darkness on notice. When we made up our shirts at the store, I put two things on it that were really important to me. The Gadsden flag, of course. It stands prominent in the middle, warning those that we are docile and peaceful by nature. But be assured, be warned that when provoked, when treaded upon, our bite will not soon be forgotten. Above the coiled snake on this shirt are three words that I live by. Serve. Serve God, our Creator, just like Charlie Kirk and his wife pledged and lived by. Protect. We have an obligation to protect our families and to protect our fellow citizens in need and those who cannot protect themselves. Defend. Defend this nation at all costs, to honor our forefathers and to preserve its legacy for future generations. Serve, protect, defend. A darkness fell over our country this week when a fellow citizen pledges to serve his God and commits to a beautiful or peaceful exchange of ideas, just like our founders. And when this man is murdered for all of us to see, we must call out the evil on display that day, and the evil that tried to overcome us the days after. Evil amongst us, cheering in his death. Evil keyboard warriors sitting at home and offering to buy a beer for the shooter. Evil in the media who told viewers, and I quote, "He was probably just a MAGA supporter, just shooting his gun in the air to celebrate the event." Guys, this is what evil looks like. In Congress, our elected officials on the left side of the aisle could not even keep their damn mouths shut in a moment of silence for Charlie and his family. If nothing more than to just say, we are better than this, and the assassination of a fellow American will always be unacceptable. But they could not even do that. That is what evil looks like. Rest assured, I can't stand Schumer, Pelosi, Harris, Colbert, or many of the others. I actually think they're pathetic Americans. But be assured, if any of them were assassinated, I would be standing by their families praying. I would denounce the cowards who took them away, and damn it, I would place my hand over my heart in a moment of silence, because these acts are not supposed to be what we represent. A darkness fell over America this week, a darkness that allowed for a graphic video, leaving no imagination, to be shared millions of times across social media. Have we no respect for Charlie's family? Have we no obligation to protect our own children from seeing another person's death play out in front of us? And we sit here and we wonder why the youth has mental problems. Seriously? Do we seriously not get it? The video was horrific for the trained individual, and it should have bothered most. Should have made him sick. But we've allowed the next generation to simply be numb to the most horrific of acts. We've allowed it to become commonplace, second nature. We are so dumb for a country claiming to be so smart. Charlie was serving his God. Protect. Protect our families and protect fellow Americans. The hell is wrong with people? A lady is brutally stabbed in public, unprovoked, and people sit on their hands. Not one, not two, but an entire train car of people sat there as the killer calmly waited for his next stop so he could get off. Blood dripping everywhere. And those cowards just continued to step over the blood, going about their business, seemingly uncaring that the killer walked off the train at the next stop. What the hell is wrong with people? Whatever happened to a moral duty to protect fellow man? I tell you, our parents and grandparents would be mortified. They would have been appalled by the passengers on the train that day. But this is what happens when we let evil in the door. American hero Daniel Penny, he did the right thing when he was faced with an evil thug on the subway. But evil prosecutors charged him with murder rather than giving him a heroic medal. In Columbus, right here, we've let a social justice attorney sue an employee who dialed 911 because there was a shoplifter in her store. She was calling for help, accused by this evil attorney for escalating the situation that ultimately led to the death of the suspect. Guys, she was dialing 911 to get help. Not even sure what it looks like to have hope. But I know you better start figuring it out. You better figure out what you want to do when you're present for the next mass casualty event. You better have a plan if you find yourself at the next assassination or that random act of violence. It's coming, guys. We must defend this nation. People are taking notice. Just this week, we probably had the busiest 7 days here at the store this year because people are worried. People are taking their own security seriously. It's hard not to mourn this week. But as Charlie's wife Erica so eloquently said, we owe it to the legacy of Charlie and to the legacy of those before him to carry the torch of hope. We all must find our place in this battle. Find how you can do your part. How you can serve our God, how you can protect families and neighbors, and how you can defend this nation. We will survive because in America it's not a single torch that cuts through darkness, but it's the millions of bright lights amongst us. It's all of us together pushing back on evil. The light of good and of hope will turn night back into day. And today we put the evil amongst us on notice. We put darkness on notice that no longer are we going to be afraid of the dark. Because soon, that darkness is going to be afraid of us. OnTarget's next.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is OnTarget, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is OnTarget. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon.